Welcome to a Celtic State of Mind. I'm Paul John Dykes, once again being joined by Kevin Graham and Colin Watt to have a look and analyse that first half performance. Celtic's yet to score a goal. It's all been about dominating possession. Colin, what do you make of that first half performance?
I mean, it's as bad a performance as the weather there, I think, in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net. We've been poor, haven't we? Although we've created a lot of chances, they've not been gilt-edged chances. I think we've had maybe one or two. Griffiths hitting the post. He's one-on-one in the first couple of minutes. But against a team like that, we should really be creating more. Looking at it, I think we've got to really take advantage of the possession that we've got. We've got to take advantage of the fact that they're on the back foot. Even when they lump the ball up front, we've got the chance to rebuild again because they're not holding the ball up there. There's nothing up there for them to hold the ball. It's coming back at them time and time again. They're going to eventually get knackered, but we're just not creating gilt-edged chances. We're taking shots from 20, 30 yards. We've got Eddie trying to beat 3 or 4 men in the box. We've got to try and change this up somehow.
Mr. Briggs via YouTube reckons, here we are again, another game against some bottom end of the table fodder with 10 men behind the ball. Lots of possession and chances for Celtic, but once again we go in level at the break, Kevin. The flip side to that comes in from James Pearson. Griffin Eddie on Astro is frightening. Should be a cricket score by now, as we've recycled the ball well and taken good care of it. Second half, keep the levels high. Kev, what's your thoughts on that? Because we certainly have created plenty of chances.
I think for once the conditions are helping us because the park is moving quick and we're moving the ball. When we move the ball forward quicker, it's our better players are showing why they're better players and why they're playing for Celtic. But I think if you look at the two main chances that we've had from this half, Griffiths hitting the post, what a goal that would have been, what a move that was with Griffiths hitting the post with that header from the Frimpong cross, and Eddie's chance right at the end there, That sums us up. That's two big opportunities missed. But it's like we're talking to a beautiful girl, but we're not going to ask them out. That's where we are. We've laid the platter down, but we're actually just crapping it to ask her out. We're not getting it over the line whatsoever. It's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. I thought the first 25 minutes, if we would have scored in the first 25 minutes, this game would have been out of sight by now. But we've now got to half time and we're now back to squeaky bum time.
When you look at it, when's the last time that we played in the league and scored a goal early on and actually drove on from it? It's been such a long time since that we've did that.
Did you see the possession there at half time just popped up? 80-20. 80-20.
That stat means nothing, but if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, and we're not doing that, we've got to score early and we've got to make the most of it.
Obviously, Colin, but if you're dominating 80% of possession and you come in at half time, that's the issue. That's the problem. Why can't we put clubs like this to the sword? We don't have the cutting edge. We seem to start relying on long range efforts, which you're very critical of, but sometimes that's what opens these games up. Turnbull or Christie being the two. You've also got that from Griffiths. Sean F reckons it should be 2-0 at least. Remember, this is a depleted Hamilton side and we have a lot of quality from middle to front compared to Hamilton. This is a interesting stroke frightening observation from Richard Coleman. If we do not win this game, we will have to win all games in hand, then beat Rangers 8-0, 8-0 and 9-0, and then match every Rangers result until the end of the season. That goes back to the point at the beginning of the game, Colin. We can't drop a single point, and when you're playing like this on a day like today and you're going in at half time, nothing each, you're thinking, what will Neil Lennon do at half time? Is he just going to say, well, lads, we're going to break this side down eventually, give you 15-20 minutes in the second half?
For me, some of the passing in the first half has been really, really poor. The ball retention at times. You look at it the first couple of minutes, bit on, as they've called him, on the whole game. That has really annoyed me. Bit on. Near beat on, getting booked in the first couple of minutes just shows how slack we can be with the ball at our feet. There's been times the passes have been getting out. Frimpong was in the last third of the pitch, took a touch of the ball and the ball ended up back in his own 18-yard box. We've got to try and use the ball better than what we are so far. And some of that's been these crossfield passes that Greg Taylor struggles to keep in. Some of it's just been the crosses that have been going straight into the goalkeeper's hands. The way that we're using the ball is just really poor, and some of the build-up play is so slow. They've got to try and start missing people out and actually playing a ball through, try and take the chances, stop going back the way and keep the ball going forward.
Kevin, what's your thoughts on this midfield diamond? I think obviously one of the biggest changes in play has been the introduction of Sorrow to the side. Have you been impressed with that today in this, with these conditions?
I think it's looked okay. I mean, look, if we were coming into this game, if we were coming into half-time 2-0 up, we would be going, this is a decent enough performance. I think the fact that it's nothing each is maybe clouding our judgment on the performance at this precise moment in time. I think the team are doing okay at moving the ball. I've seen a lot of the ball going forward at pace, but we're still not creating enough, and we're still leaving it to chance. There's no pattern in our play. There's no identity whatsoever. Eddie and Griff look like they are linking up quite well at the edge of the box, but again, it's all down to the poor setup of the side. It's get the ball into the final third, get it wide, and hopefully something happens with a hopeful ball into the box. We're not trying to work this Hamilton team open like you would do if we were decently coached.
Well, again, it does come back to that, Kevin. Aero 250 is reminding us. I mean, we've had quite a few, if you look down the years, quite a few really tight performances there at that park. And Aero points out we narrowly beat them last season with Forrest getting the only goal. Seen enough in that first half to suggest we will get the points. Also, just thinking in that first half was Julien. We weren't aware that he was injured, Colin. Has there been any update on that? Has he been left out because we're playing on a plastic pitch?
I haven't seen anything.
With his bad back, I know it's obviously it's potentially going to aggravate an injury like that, isn't it?
I think just with the amount of games that's coming up at the minute, if there's a chance to rest him on something like that, which avoids an injury, is probably the right idea. But then the same token, why is Shane Duffy sitting on the bench if he's not fit enough to play the game? If we had to turn to him now, bit on as they say, is sitting on a yellow card. If he goes into a tackle and then starts to get on the edge of being sent off, you're going to have to pull him off and pull Duffy on. Is Duffy fit to play? And if he is, he should have been in from the start.
Sometimes when you're looking at the comments, Kevin, I think you make a good point. Kevin, you make a good point. There might be a wee delay with you there. That had we got a couple of goals, you'd have been looking at this performance and saying, it's all right. But what we're also getting from Capello Mark, for example, is this really the momentum some have been going on about is just not good enough. And I think we all know it. It is one of the games. We've seen it so often down the years where we come away with a 1 or a 2-0. And as Colin says, when are we going to craft these chances open? I think a big part of that is the point that Chris Moore makes. As predicted, we are set up to go through the middle. Every pass into a congested area. Easy to set up against Hamilton. They're pressing well, but we need better width. Do we have enough, if you look at the entire 20-man squad, do we have enough to create that width? That was my big criticism in extra time against Hearts. We had no width. We had to try and create it. We had the players to do it in Frimpong and Johnson, but we simply didn't do it. Kevin, second half, could you create width maybe with a change?
The change that's jumping out at us is Mikey Johnson to come on, probably for Ryan Christie on that right-hand side. That would be the change. I think Taylor's given us not too bad width, and so's McGregor. But we're up against a packed defence, and you've got Christopher Ayer who's bringing the ball forward, who's naturally going to go inside on the left-hand side because he's right-footed. So he's naturally going to play the ball in. So when you're trying to build up an attack, he's already built to go inside because it's just natural what's going to happen. I reckon I'm not too worried yet. We just need to do what we've done in the first 20 minutes of the first half, which was play the ball forward quick, play it into feet, and I think this goal will come. And I think if we score one today, those who were saying 3-4-0, it could actually happen in this second half. But we need that one.
The thing as well is you've got the boy that's on the yellow card after he pulled back Frimpong. You've got to get at him. He's on a yellow card. Frimpong's got by him time and time again. He's going to try and bring him down again, and he could get himself sent off. If you're going to bring Johnson on, the same message should be put to him as well. Target that position because he can't touch you. If he touches you, he's off. get down there, get the ball coming in from that side, and try and create the chances down that side of the park.
Good point coming in from Jim G via the YouTube channel. The only difference in this performance has been that Celtic haven't made a costly defensive mistake. All the possession, then we go flat and we look susceptible to a break. Kevin, you were going to say there, I think there might be a wee delay at your end, pal.
What I'm worried about, as Colin says, beating on that yellow card. And just after the yellow card, about 5-10 minutes, he actually went through a guy at the back. He went straight into him. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about us going down to 10 men. We beat on that booting. Now,
one thing I would say is, and I mentioned this to Colin before we came on live, Gigi points out not enough incisive passing. And why is Christie allowed anywhere near the free kicks? We thought we had found the answer when Turnbull comes in. He's taken all the free kicks, all the corner kicks. And, for me, he was doing it far more consistently, and there was better end product than what we had seen from Christie. Let Christie just concentrate on his game rather than take every corner. And it seems as though it's crept back in, Christie starting to take them again. When you're looking at some of the aerial prowess of the likes of Duffy and obviously Ayer and Julien that we've had, that was something that could create some serious chances for Celtic. When I'm looking at this side, I've looked at Beaton taking 2 headers in the box, both of which were poor at best. I mean, both of them should have been a goal. Ayer, I think it's one of his worst aspects of his game is actually attacking across, which for the size of him is unacceptable. And then the best guy at doing that in the squad today is Duffy, and he's on the bench. So for me, again, this could come down to something as simple as that. Every corner, every single set piece we've got just outside the box, we need to make it actually work. We need to make it count. Going to your point, Kevin, and one that Colin made earlier in relation to Duffy's fitness, if he's fit, bring him on. Mm-hmm. For Beaton.
You've got to Beaton's walking a tightrope here, and the way that Hamilton are playing, they're looking on a breakaway. So all we need is one ball over the top, and Beaton's caught, and he's grabbing the boy down, and he's giving the referee the option to send him off. So we really need to watch that, and this is where we hope the coaching staff get the game management right, but then they've not done that many times this season. They need to get the game management right in the second half. But I believe we'll score in the first 15 minutes of the second half, and we'll end up winning this game quite comfortable.
Chris Moore, ref should have booked Ayer for the pass he played to Beaton. To be fair, it was a dreadful pass. The action has resumed. So let's go back to New Douglas Park, and I'll see you guys at full time. Thanks, Kevin Graham and Colin Watt, for joining me on A Celtic State of Mind.